You absolute donut! You missed Halloween, and now you must watch Scooby-Doo and the reluctant werewolf.
Oh, okay, that's easy. Hey, guess what?
What?
That's right, I'm looking at Scooby-Doo again. Longtime fans of the channel may remember a few years ago when I took a look at Scooby-Doo in the Ghoul School in celebration of OKKO bringing back the characters from that movie. Well, today I'm going to be looking at what Wikipedia says is the successor to that movie, Scooby-Doo and the Reluctant Werewolf. Now, is it actually a successor? No, it has nothing to do with Ghoul School. Heck, Dracula has a completely different appearance and voice in this movie, but, oh well, Wikipedia says it, must be true. Also, I think something worth noting is a bit of an interesting fact before we go in. This is the last time we see Scrappy in the Scooby-Doo series until his appearance as the main antagonist of the live-action movie. This movie has no mystery. It's kind of just a really weird movie in general, but I think it would be fun to look at. So, let's dive on in. So our movie begins and we see that Shaggy is now a professional racer. This movie has four main characters actually, being Shaggy, Scooby, Scrappy, and Googie. What, you don't know who Googie is? Come on, Shaggy's girlfriend. No, the other one. Other one. Yeah, that's her. Shaggy's apparently a pretty good racer, but I'm not entirely sure about that. He seems to be making a few plays here that I don't know if that's exactly allowed on the racetrack. But I guess it's fine because Shaggy doesn't need to win the race, and now we're in Transylvania. Yep. It seems that Dracula says that the werewolf decided not to compete in his race this year. Yes, Dracula's holding a race. Yes, that is Dracula. This is of course a major problem because according to how the rules of the race works, they're not allowed to do the race unless every monster is present. So without the werewolf, they can't do it. Luckily for them though, they're informed that there's actually a way to manually turn a human into a werewolf. And what do you know, the book showing how to do so even tells the exact human, and it happens to be Shaggy. Which by the way, as soon as it's shown to be Shaggy, Dracula's girlfriend proceeds to thirst for him.
It says he's an American. And he's cute.
Dracula decides that a task such as this one is only a task for the Hunch Bunch.
Oh no! Not the Hunch Bunch!
Not the Hunch Bunch!
They're so awful!
So horrible!
Yes! The Hunch Bunch!
And so the Hunch Bunch head off to turn Shaggy into a werewolf, in which we also get confirmation that despite it being a scaredy cat, Shaggy actually likes to watch scary movies, which I just find funny. Scooby, after going to the window, ends up seeing the Hunch Bunch and does what he always does best and freaks out. After getting Shaggy's attention and telling him that there are monsters at the window, Shaggy goes to check and says that there isn't anything there, despite the fact that he would clearly see them if he just looked a little to the left. Scooby finds out about the plan to turn Shaggy into a werewolf, and how it works is that within today and the next 2 days, the Hunch Bunch need to have the moonlight make direct contact with Shaggy, and he'll become a werewolf. So Scooby ends up thwarting their first attempt at this, giving them only the next 2 days to do so. Scrappy then proceeds to roast the hell out of Scoob.
Monsters through the roof, huh?
That's right!
Okay, then, like, where's the hole?
Up there!
Where?
Right up...
Don't worry, Uncle Scooby. We still love you, even if you are a wacko.
The following night, they try to get Shaggy to turn to a werewolf while he's at the grocery store. And I only wanted to mention in this scene because it always bothered me as a kid that they try to get Shaggy out there by literally doing this. And yet apparently Shaggy not once ever sees neither of the two, because once they are thwarted once again, he seems to believe that it was Scooby who did it. I don't know, that just always bothered me. Final night to get Shaggy exposed to moonlight, and what do you know, he happens to be going to a drive-in movie theater with his girlfriend, along with Scooby and Scrappy. So clearly this is the perfect opportunity for the Hunch Bunch to turn Shaggy into a werewolf. And what do you know, they actually do it. So now Shaggy is a werewolf and somehow his girlfriend doesn't even notice. And he has a case of the hiccups, where every time he hiccups, he turns from human to werewolf and so forth. After going to get a snack, he ends up scaring everyone, which eventually causes a lot of people to call the police and chase after him alongside the Hunch Bunch. Which I want to call out this one joke as well. I just find funny how all the teenagers there freak out at the sight of Werewolf Shaggy, and then there's this guy tending a food stand that just doesn't have any problem with it. I don't know, that just cracked me up when I rewatched this movie. Eventually, Shaggy and Scooby finally find out that Shaggy has become a werewolf, and after getting chased out by everyone thinking that he's some horrific monster, Shaggy grabs his car, drives away, and then tells his girlfriend what happened. They finally manage to escape the people just to be knocked out by the Hunch Bunch and finally taken to Transylvania. After finally arriving to Transylvania and doing what they do best and causing Dracula both mental and physical pain,
I say, I wonder which lubricant he'll boil us in. Machine oil or motor oil?
they manage to wake our heroes up, and after realizing where they are, Shaggy proceeds to insult the appearance of a lot of the monsters that are causing them to fight. I just felt like mentioning this because I wanted to show this clip of one of these witches straight up vaporizing Frankenstein's monster's head.
You think that was funny, eh? Well, you'll laugh your head off at this!
While initially Shaggy says he's just not going to participate in the race, Dracula makes it a little clear from the very start that he's not giving Shaggy any options here. After capturing them and sending them to their room, the characters try to find a way to escape Transylvania.
No, but we must be near the ground, right, Scoob?
During one of the escape attempts, our heroes end up walking straight into an extended dance sequence.
He did the monster mash. It was a graveyard smash. It caught on in a flash. He did the monster mash. From my laboratory in the castle east to the master bedroom where the vampires feast, the ghouls all came from their humble abodes to get a jolt from my electrode. They did the monster mash. It was a graveyard smash. It caught on in a flash. They did the monster mash. The zombies were having fun. The party had just begun. The guests...
After another escape attempt, and Shaggy making it once again clear that he does not want to race, Dracula and Shaggy manage to finally reach a compromise, being that if Shaggy competes in the race and wins, Dracula will turn him back into a human and send him, Scooby, Scrappy, and Googie home. As a result of this compromise, Shaggy finally agrees to compete in the race, and the next morning, after being shown the map of the racetrack, Dracula even allows Shaggy to go on a test run in his car. Little does Shaggy know that Dracula only agreed to this so he could sabotage him, but despite all of Dracula's sabotage attempts on the racetrack, Shaggy, of course, manages to come out on top at the end of his practice run, and in the end, runs over Dracula in a very weird animation. Having the feeling that Shaggy might actually have a chance at this, Dracula has the Hunch Bunch mess with the controls of his car and decides to change the racetrack as well. But now it's time for the race. With a kiss of encouragement from his girlfriend, Shaggy is ready. We are introduced to all the different racers that will be competing in the race today, and Shaggy proceeds to arrive and kills everyone. After everything gets fixed, it's now time for the race to actually begin.
Let the race begin!
After the race begins, Shaggy manages to get the car fixed to work properly, and from this point forward, the movie kind of becomes a bit repetitive. Shaggy gets into the lead. The Hunch Puncher Dracula sabotage him. Shaggy and Scooby get into a predicament, and either they will get out or Googie and Scrappy will get them out, to which they take the lead again, thus starting the process over. While the other racers use various methods to try and get into the lead, Dracula devises another plan to get rid of Shaggy, which involves having Shaggy and Scooby eaten by a tar monster and possibly killed. And I always wanted to talk about this because this always bothered me as a kid. Because it seems like Dracula is trying to outright get Shaggy killed, but the reason this entire conflict started is because, as Dracula said, they can't do the monster race without every monster present, which means if he got the werewolf killed, then next year he would have to go through the tedious process of getting a new werewolf. I'm rambling too much. Anyways, Scrappy of course saves them, and of course Shaggy and Scooby get back in the lead, which actually led to a scene that caught me off guard and actually got a little chuckle out of me, where Dracula basically gets on top of the cars of the other racers and basically just says, "What the hell is wrong with you? Go faster!" Eventually, one of the monsters decides to actually do what they've been doing with all the other monsters in the movie and try attacking the guy who's currently in first place. This of course fails, and despite this, Shaggy and Scooby still find themselves falling behind because the other monsters took a shortcut, which led to this one funny line to me where Shaggy accuses them of cheating for that, despite the fact that earlier in this film, during a normal race, Shaggy literally resorted to using a drill. Not even the attempts from the monsters could stop Shaggy, which of course causes Dracula to resort to the best possible method to stopping him: pulling up and stealing his engine. I'm not joking. He actually just steals his engine. Googie and Scrappy proceed to replace said engine, and then Dracula decides, "I've had enough of these two. Hunch Bunch, kill them!" So the Hunch Bunch takes Scrappy and Googie so that they can just drop them into lava. That's actually what they plan on doing. But of course Shaggy saves them, and then he gets back in the lead due to the fact that conveniently while he was gone, there happened to have been a pile-up. Dracula and the Hunch Bunch try one more time to stop Shaggy with a giant carnivorous plant, but after the Hunch Bunch mess that up, like they always do, Dracula once again gets hurt and decides that he's officially done. He decides to send out something worse than the Hunch Bunch: GK.
Oh no!
Not GK!
Oh no! Not GK!
Oh dear, not GK!
Meet GK! Genghis Khan! Take one!
Literally a minute later, they immediately defeat Genghis Khan. And not just that, but they proceed to throw him onto all the other cars, which means that they are unable to pass the finish line and that Shaggy wins. As you guys probably all expected, Dracula actually has no plans of actually changing Shaggy back, and even claims that there is no way to change him back. But after his girlfriend, who you've probably been seeing a few times throughout the video, mentions that there is a spell in the book, the gang decide to snatch it, which leads to an exciting plane chase where Dracula basically just says, "You will soon feel dead when you eat my lead!" Not just does his plane have a gun, but it also has a device that can turn regular clouds into storm clouds, which sounds scary at first until it immediately leads to Dracula's defeat. He falls down into the earth below and gets chased by a shark. Our heroes make it back home, turn Shaggy back into a human, and decide to celebrate by watching some movies together. Not before Scooby can give them one last little scare, being the scamp he is. And our heroes sit happily, knowing that they don't have to worry about Dracula anymore. At least for now.
That's what he thinks. We're back!
This was a really weird movie. Like, really weird. Didn't even really feel like a Scooby-Doo movie. It felt more like something like Wacky Races or Tom and Jerry Fast and the Furry. Anyone else remember that movie? But, you know what? I would be lying if I said that I didn't enjoy it. I don't know. I had fun. definitely kind of a so bad it's good movie, but hey, I like those. Overall, a real fun movie. And you know what? I'd be down with looking at another Scooby-Doo movie next Halloween. I'd give this film no rating. I don't know what to give it.
Oh yeah, I should probably check on the guy threw in the washing machine.
Hey.
Hey.
Take care of my son.
What?